Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversations about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
We wanted to talk about the
The Lathe of Heaven, yes.
it was the milling machine of heaven, like the power drill of heaven.
CNC? No,
Yeah.
no.
I don't know.
I wanted to pick your brain on it. I mean, there's tons of things to talk about, but
So I haven't. You've read the book.
yeah.
It was a recommendation from your brother.
Mm-hmm, that's correct. Because it's one of the first sci-fi novels. It was written back in the 70s.
I don't even know if you could consider it sci-fi though.
Right, yeah.
I mean, so I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But from the movie, there was the aliens, but they weren't like the most major plot point in the movie. Were they in the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit more.
Because there was one line in the movie where the alien, which they looked real weird in the movie. They were like the turtle.
That's kind of how they were explained in the books.
Oh, really?
Just
So
weird,
they did a good job of
beans. They're turtles with shells, and then just arms.
Weird.
There's no face or anything.
Weird.
It's just metal beans.
But the alien, he was in his dream, and the alien came to commune with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, some people are the lathes of heaven, or whatever.
If they don't understand power, then they will be destroyed on the lathe of heaven or whatever.
Yeah.
Loosely quoted, paraphrased.
It was interesting. I was like, huh. All right, that's the only reference to the lathe of heaven.
Yeah. I looked it up a little bit. I think it's from some old Chinese proverb or something. That's where the term comes from. I forget totally, but
Gotcha.
that is in essence the point of the story's brief synopsis, right? The guy's got the dream power to change reality. We kind of talked about that last week anyway, but and then there's another scientist who's trying to take that power from him. He wants it in an effort to improve the world, to make it good, but then that's what our alien tells the main character of only the main character got that power, because he not that he understood it per se, but that he wasn't going to use it
For evil.
Yeah.
Or for bad. Yeah, it was interesting.
The book did explain a little bit more, because it's he wished the aliens into existence, right?
Yeah.
That one scene that I thought was pretty cool, because it kind of in the book, as you're reading it, it seemed to invoke a little bit more terror.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie was just oh, there's aliens now. But in the book, it's a hard chapter break, and then it's just as he wakes up from the dream, the doctor's what did you do? And he's well, you told me to invent peace on Earth, so I invented aliens in space, that all the humans banded together to fight aliens in space.
Yeah, on the moon colony.
Yeah. And so, the main character's why did you do this to me? Why did you dredge this up out of my subconscious? And that's a point they delve into in the book of, you can't control your subconscious. Nobody can.
No.
It's you don't know what horrors are lurking in there. And to try to make those a reality, nobody can control that. That'd be ridiculous.
Well, and that was one of the interesting plot points of the movie. And I'm curious to see how they did it in the book, if it's similar, but I'm sure it is, because they probably didn't invent everything in the movie, right?
Yeah.
But the doctor, psychiatrist or whatever, what do they call the dream?
Oneurologist?
Yeah, honorologist.
Honorologist, yeah. The study of dreams.
Yeah. But he was oh yeah, when I say Antwerp, you're gonna dream of
going to REM sleep.
No more overpopulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's so many different ways you can fix that, right?
Yeah,
you could theorize oh, well, maybe we do have a colony on the moon now, or on Mars, and we ship half the world's population there.
Yeah.
But the main character dreamt of a plague.
Yeah,
that killed 3/4 of the world population.
A second to bubonic plague that just wiped out everybody, because that was his subconscious. He can't.
Yeah.
Can't
and then
control
what was the first one that he goes into the doctor's office with, and he changes the doctor's picture from
Yes.
a mount
It was
from Mount Hood
yes.
to a horse in a field.
Yeah, it was the horse that won the first Triple Crown. I forget the name of the horse, but he won all 3 of the big races.
Yeah.
There was a movie about it.
Sure there was. I don't care about horse racing at all. Never have.
Yeah, no.
Love horses. Hey, don't give a crap about the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, sure.
The Derby.
The movies are entertaining.
Sometimes.
I'm
very selective on the movies I watch.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I will say, I did enjoy this movie. Like, it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Like, for free on YouTube. Also, no ads.
No ads, yeah.
And so if you just put the playlist on, they transition, like, almost seamlessly.
Pretty seamlessly. I had it just queued up 1.5. It was great.
I did 2, and I was just like, let's go.
Yeah.
And honestly, 2 did not feel slow.
No.
Or did not feel slow. Obviously,
yeah,
slow. It didn't feel fast.
It's not a complex movie or a book. Like,
no, it's very straight. There's, like, you have to pay attention to 3 characters.
3 characters. There's minimal world building.
Yeah, I mean, it's Earth.
Yeah, it's Earth. Ooh.
In the near future.
Yeah. It was, like, slightly dystopian, because the book explains a little bit more of, like, there were wars going on.
Yeah.
Between humans, and some of the things they described of, like, I forgot what they called it, like, in Saudi Arabia or whatever, they had, like, funky names for the groups.
Well, what was interesting is the beginning of the movie, I think the guy dreamt up the wars.
Yeah.
That were going on Earth, because the first, at least in the movie, the first dream segment, the first segment of the movie is him walking through
like
a nuclear landscape, where there's like a nuclear bomb had gone off or something like that, and there's like a half melted stop sign and like all
destroyed buildings.
So it's kind of like, huh.
Yeah, that's a little trippy twist as well of like, he invented everything. He mentions like since April or whatever, even though his new reality is that he's had the power his whole life. It's kind of weird, like how much of it changed, but I think it was from that one point where he's like, he was about to die and he dreamed he was alive or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the story picks up. And I don't remember the line in the book, but I like in the movie he mentions, what if everybody had this power? Like, what if everybody was just dreaming and changing reality?
They do say that in the movie.
We had no idea. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember that one in the book.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I liked that line. I was like, okay, that's kind of a neat...
I will say that line, I was like, when he said that, I was like, oh, dang, he gave it. Like, because he was coming out of a dream session with his doctor. And so I was like, oh, dang, he's like giving everyone the power to dream now.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, that would be insane. And then I don't think they did anything with that.
No,
so I was
not
like,
really. It was just a
kind
little
of a throwaway line there. Like,
little philosophical, get you thinking. But talking about all that, pretty interesting. I liked the alien aspect. He created the aliens, so they saw him as like
their god.
Their creator.
But what's interesting is like, did they know that he was... See, that's such a fascinating idea because he invented a new species.
Yes.
That is more technologically advanced than humans.
Yeah, right.
Or theoretically more technologically advanced than humans, which is like...
And the book explains a bit better as well. The aliens had to like learn how to communicate with humans. They could only communicate telepathically at first. And so that's not that far away from dreams. Maybe they communicated by dreams, so maybe he didn't really create them. He just like summoned them with his dream power. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it was a really good movie. I don't know if it was like... There was the funny part where the doctor was like, we're going to cure the biggest ailment of all time, and it's racism.
Yeah.
And then he like... Instead of just like making everyone not racist, everyone just turns into like...
It makes them all gray.
Yeah.
Gray blobs.
Like, oh yeah, we're just gray Smurfs now.
I thought the makeup on that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because they literally just spray painted everyone gray.
You could still tell people's races underneath the gray paint.
And like around him, there's like a Chinese lady, a black man.
Yeah. And so they show, they're all gray now.
Like an Italian, a Jew. Like they're all just like, you can obviously like... It's like... You're not really fooling anyone here.
But, it was 1980 when the movie came out. They tried their hardest.
Yeah.
Special effects.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny. And again, the book explained as well. Kind of a neat little point is that his, the girl, the lawyer, disappeared after that dream.
Yeah, that was...
Because, the main character realizes she was black, but actually she was like she was half black, and they talked about, she talked about her personality, her family, a bit more in depth in the book. And the main character realizes why she disappeared. She's like, that was a part of her identity, and we just erased identity. We just erased color, and so it's like she ceased to exist, because it's like her being gray just doesn't make sense. Yeah, she was proud of like her being half black and from two heritages and all that, and the way she like dressed as well, like that was all part of her. So I thought that was a neat point of like, yeah, an easier solution to racism is to make people not be racist, not just to get rid of color, because color is one of the things that defines us. Cool. Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to, like, this is going to get real philosophical here, but, like, off that racism thing, it's like, obviously being racist is bad and stupid. Like, there's no
other word for it. Yeah,
it's just dumb, right? Like, what? You have to be so full of yourself to believe that, oh, yeah, because my skin is white, I'm better than you?
Superior in some way.
It's like, if anything, we're inferior because we sunburn.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. and like, just like
the amount of melanin in your skin, like what is that even?
It's a reasonably like modern thing, racism.
Sure.
Like it like is only really from like the, what, 1700s and on.
Past couple hundred years. Yeah.
I mean, before that there wasn't racism.
No.
It was like, oh yeah, you're from a different culture? Cool.
Yeah, or
like, do you have anything I want to trade with?
Yeah, or way back when, oh, you're from a different culture. Well, we're gonna kill you and enslave you anyway. Like, because we don't like you. Just not because of skin, but just warring nations back.
But because we need slaves.
yeah. It was like, oh, we're trying to take over the world, so you're in our way.
It's like the Greeks, the Spartans. There was like the Spartans, and then there was the slaves.
Yeah,
and they were all Greek. The Spartans were just like, yeah, you are ours now.
We're stronger than you, so
we trained for war 90% of the time, and the other 10% of the time is training to have sex.
Yeah, basically, make more warriors.
To make more warriors. Like,
totally.
Geez. But it's just so funny that it's become such a huge hot button issue.
Yeah.
And it's just such a dumb thing. Like, all of it is just dumb. Like, oh yeah, we can't like appropriate cultures. It's like, well, freaking it. Does that mean I can't enjoy Mexican food or Chinese food or like
can't have Taco Tuesday anymore? No?
Yeah, for real. Or like, imagine you're like only allowed to eat the food that your ancestors created.
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
I get
like
haggis. I don't know.
And like, to what point, right? Like, at what point in time are you allowed? Because like.
Because I think we're all descended from Genghis Khan, probably. I mean,
well, at least, yeah, for real, right? So, like,
Mongolian barbecue is.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
Mongolian barbecue.
That's it.
Let's open a Mongolian barbecue now. It's Mongolian barbecue. Food for everyone.
Food for everyone. Everybody's welcome.
Culture. You are all part of this culture.
That's right.
Because Genghis Khan.
You walk inside, they give you a cool hat.
Like, they give you a sword and
welcome
a bow.
to the family. Be sweet.
We do.
I think we're onto something.
And I think so. Yeah, but like, can you imagine like you're not allowed to like we live in Arizona.
Yeah.
Pretty dang close to Mexico.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mexican food here, and it's freaking amazing.
It's great.
And like, can you imagine if we just weren't allowed to eat Mexican food?
Yeah.
Because it's cultural appropriation.
That's at least half the restaurants like gone.
It's like half my diet.
Right.
No more tacos, no more burritos, no more quesadillas.
No, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't survive. I'd be 100 pounds.
I'd starve. What do I eat?
And then like, yeah, it's just, it'd be so sad.
Yeah, totally.
And like, imagine if like you could only eat food that your ancestors ate. Well, it's like, I have a lot of roots in Germany, and so it's like, what, sausage and potatoes. Well, guess what? Potatoes are from Central America and South America. So like, at what point am I allowed to eat those? At what point?
Yeah, because I know British people like potatoes as well. That's and Irish, and that's
well, yeah,
a lot of Europe.
Are Italians not allowed to have tomatoes anymore?
There you go. Yeah.
It's like that's cool. They culturally appropriated that from the Incas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like 600 years ago.
Yeah, and corn as well. I think. Yeah, like, some of those things. It's
well,
yeah.
I think they had corn.
It was a different kind of
different.
corn. It was. I think maize is the actual term, but it's
maize is what we had here.
Yes,
in the Americas.
in the Americas, they had
something else
similar. Now it's all genetically engineered anyway. But
bull crap.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a heritage like corn that like it tastes different?
Really?
It's
the texture's the same of like
it's a little bit
kernels.
Starchier. That's not the right word. It's not as like juicy.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a little bit I
like firmer.
Yeah, it's not dry, right? But it's like not as like squishy as corn is now.
Squishy corn.
Right? And but like a heritage like corn tortilla, those are.
That sounds pretty good. Wrap a burrito up in that and tacos.
We went to getting way off topic.
Totally, yeah, off in the weeds.
But we went to a taco place last night. I don't want to say taqueria because it's a white taco place.
Okay, yeah.
It's not
backyard taco.
It was.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah,
backyard taco's pretty good, actually.
I thought it was a upper class white woman's attempt at Mexican food.
Ah, okay. Like Chipotle?
I think Chipotle is because Chipotle is not Mexican food.
That's true. That's true.
That is like white person food.
Yeah, Tex-Mex or whatever.
Yeah, that's like Michigan Mex.
That's true. That's fair.
That's like if a Michigander.
Oh, that's spicy, eh?
Oh, that's spicy, eh? Oh wow, that's got some black pepper in it, eh?
Oh, jeez.
I will say that Backyard Taco, they have their salsa. They have like a red one that's not like super spicy. It's got like a nice heat to it, but it's like this beautiful Chipotle flavor.
Okay, nice.
It's real good. But first of all, I got a quesadilla.
So.
And it was like a $6 quesadilla. And I am a fan of quesadillas. They are, in my opinion, one of the best Mexican foods. I don't know why.
All right.
I just love quesadillas. And I was like, oh yeah, I got like quesadilla. This is gonna be great. It's like $6 quesadilla.
Pretty good.
$6.50 or whatever. I was thinking like you take a tortilla, you fold it in half and pull it full of stuff.
Yeah.
But they took like a tortilla.
Oh.
And put it with stuff and it was a birria. I got a birria quesadilla. And so I was like, oh, they're gonna like put some of the consomme in the quesadilla and like fold it up and it's gonna be like nice and juicy. It's like dry.
And it was like meh.
And it was like literally like this big.
Yeah, that's
like the size of like a big Hot Pocket.
Huh.
And I was like, this was $6. And then Ryan, she got 2 tacos.
Yeah.
They're $3.50 a piece.
And they're also like,
and they were this big.
That's crazy.
And I was like, what the heck, man?
Wow.
It was, and there was very little flavor on it.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty sad.
It was very sad. I was very disappointed.
Maybe it's just the one I go to. But now that I think about it,
I went to the one on Stapley and
yeah, okay.
60.
I guess now that I think about it, I think we only get burritos there, and the burritos seem fine.
Were the burritos good?
Yeah, I mean, because they're big. Yeah. Or like the burrito bowl or whatever. The salad.
Yeah. My mom got the potato thing.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's real weird. It's they call it papas locas.
Okay. Crazy potatoes.
Crazy potatoes. And it was like just like a russet potato.
Just like a baked potato.
Yeah, like a baked potato with like carne asada and like some stuff on it.
That seems fine, I guess. But...
It was good, but it was $10.
How expensive is a baked potato? Come on. 50
with
cents?
like a little bit of carne asada.
Yeah,
and not good carne asada either.
That's a little cheap.
It was like ground beef carne asada almost.
Oh no!
I was like, what the heck, man? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back there.
No, probably not. Then.
What I need to find, Ryan and I in Utah found this taqueria, which was a real
taqueria, yeah.
And you know why we know? It's because we were the only white people there most of the time.
And they're all speaking Spanish. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. There was one time I had to order in Spanish because the person at the counter was like, I don't speak English. And I was like, well, here we go.
Dame número siete.
Well, there wasn't even like a numbered
Oh,
menu.
they're not even numbers, so
it
you
was
have
like,
to like
can I have this many tacos?
quattro tacos.
And then like you just had to like they had like pictures. They're like,
oh, that's pretty good at least. Yeah.
we have these, and these. No prices, no anything on them. We have tacos, quesadillas, and what they call gringas,
Yeah.
which is like a taco with cheese. Because Americans like cheese, apparently.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They were real good, though, because they would put the cheese, and then they would put the cheese face down on the flat top.
Oh, nice.
Where they were cooking all the meat, so it would like get all crusty, and then they flip it back over, and like, they were real good. They were like $1 more expensive, though. But each taco was like $1.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love taquerias for that. It's good prices.
And I would get, they had a quesadilla that I would get.
And it's better quality food, I bet.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. And their salsas, like, if you don't enjoy spicy, can't get any of them. Like, Ryan and I, who, we both enjoy spicy food.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not like Indian level cuisine spicy, right? But like, we enjoy spicy food. I had to get like the lowest level one.
Yeah,
because that was like the perfect amount of spice to
Compliment.
pain. But yeah, we would go there and for like $12, we would both get so much food.
Yeah, you'd be full.
And like I'd get a sangria señorial, which is like one of my favorite drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why, but they're so good. And it was like $1
That's cool.
for like one of the glass bottle ones that was like from Mexico. Like it says Hecho in Mexico on the side, and man, it was so good. And it's like it feels like there should be a place like that in Phoenix.
There's yeah. You just gotta go
There
looking for
is,
them.
but
I know at least one decent one. That's not too far from here. We should go sometime.
we definitely should.
They do really good like sandwiches, the tortas. I like the Mexican tortas.
Yeah.
They just slap a breaded steak on there and then crunch in. Ooh, yeah.
I'm surprised there's not one down by like the Rancho Market.
Yeah, I haven't.
What is that place called?
Ranch Market.
Yeah, that's right.
Ranch Market.
I was trying to remember, like, isn't it something?
Yeah.
But that place is fun to go to because you're the only white person there.
Yes. Also, I love that. We've gone a couple times.
Yeah,
It's a blast.
It always feels really funny because we're two big
Gringos.
white gringos who like speak decent Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's like throwing people off.
It's like, yeah, I'm looking for and we're talking loudly and just, where are the chorizos? I'm looking for chorizo. And just you get looks all over. What are these white guys doing here?
What are these white guys doing here? Why do they know what chorizo is? It's too spicy for white people.
Yeah.
Which, not wrong for most people.
That's a good market. They got good food there. So
Yeah. And it always feels like everyone is like, oh yeah, like Mexican and Chinese restaurants are always so dirty. It's like, the place feels pretty clean to me.
it's nice. Yeah, I like it.
Like, I don't feel like I'm like getting sketchy meat or anything like
No,
that.
and I love the whole butcher counter. That's something you
Yeah.
kind of miss in like an American culture for some reason. You don't go like to the butcher to
No.
get your meat.
You just kind of pick it off of like what they have there prepared for you in the fries.
Yeah,
The
just
Kroger
it's already
section.
like packaged.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Walmart. Yeah.
I like going to a butcher, especially like Argentina. They called them even like a step below a butcher. They called it a fiambreria, which would be like a
Hen shop.
sandwich meat shop.
Yeah.
You'd go and they'd have all the sandwich meats and the cheeses, and they'd slice everything there right for you. So you'd be like, oh, I want 200 grams of that cheese and 300 grams of this salami or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they'll just cut it all right there for you. I'm like, oh, that's pretty sweet. That's fresh.
You know what's sad is that Mozambique, no cheese.
No cheese.
You can get it in like the supermarkets, but like it's not a common thing.
Interesting.
Like,
Argentina was the opposite. They had too much cheese. I couldn't decide. Like, and all the names and styles were different than American cheeses that I was used to. It was really weird.
So for like a package of like 10 American singles was $5.
Whoa. That's not worth it.
No,
That cheese is not good.
we all got it
It passes. I mean, it's all
because
right.
we were like, I need like a grilled cheese sandwich. Man.
It tastes
that
like
was,
America.
That was like the cheese of choice for grilled cheese sandwiches for us because what I would do at least to make a grilled cheese sandwich is, because it was easier, is I would take the toaster and put my 2 pieces of bread in the toaster and then get the cheese prepped on the side, and as soon as it popped, I go and let it sit
Let
there,
it melt.
and then the like heat would melt it together, and
That's awesome.
It worked pretty well, but
It's easy.
it was just way easier than like getting a pan out and putting butter in
butter
it.
on one
Butter was
side.
also really expensive, and so we were like, no, can't do that. So
Dang, yeah. I guess I kind of took that for granted. There's a lot of cows in Argentina, so dairy products were plentiful.
beef in general in Mozambique is like relatively expensive.
Gotcha.
It's like doable. Like you can find it for relatively fine prices, but the cheapest was chicken.
Oh yeah,
There was chickens all over the place.
chickens
Chickens and
everywhere.
goat.
Go kill one in the backyard
Yeah,
and cook
chickens
it up.
and goat were the cheapest.
How was seafood? You were never
Yeah.
like on the coast.
Oh, yeah,
but... yeah. Okay.
Yeah. One of my areas was like the beach.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the one thing that was expensive for us. Because I was like way inland Argentina, which like is close to Chile, meaning you would think it's close to the ocean, but
Well, there's like the huge mountains right
there's
there.
there's a big mountain range, and also Argentina for a long time didn't have any imports. A couple presidents ago, they were just like, no imports. We're gonna go all made in Argentina stuff, and so they're open now, but they're still kind of like easing up on some of that.
Sure.
That's why there's not a whole lot of like American fast food places in
Sure.
Argentina. There's like, I think there was one McDonald's in my home nation, which is a huge part of the country. One McDonald's in the biggest city, but yeah. So it's like trade to Chile wasn't really a thing. So you had to get seafood from the coast of Argentina. It was too expensive to transport.
Yeah, seafood was probably the cheapest thing
Oh,
in
gotcha.
Mozambique because they would eat any of the fish that they caught.
That's cool.
There's this thing they called it peixe seca, dry fish.
Dry fish, yeah.
And what it is, it's literally just like a dried, like they dry the fish in the sun,
Mhm.
right? So it's they're these little fish about that big,
All right.
the size of like a big.
No, bigger than sardines, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, they're short but fat.
yeah,
Right? So the sardines are like long, you
Mhm.
know. These ones were like short and stubby, and then like real like chunky.
gotcha.
But they would dry them, and then what they would do is like to get them prepped to eat.
Mhm.
You take these dried fish and you just put them in oil, and it would
Okay.
like hydrate it with oil,
Yeah.
like hot oil, obviously. Like you're like frying it almost. It was so nasty.
I was waiting for I was like, yeah, it was so good. We had them all the time. They were like
I had it like
10
twice.
cents a pop.
I had it twice, and I was like, I never need this again in my life.
Yeah.
I'll go hungry.
Rather than eat dry fish.
It was not good. And there's so many bones. And I can't. Fish bones freak me out.
No, yeah,
I
they're a little weird.
don't like them. But yeah, we would occasionally buy like whole fish and just like throw them on a frying pan and like, yeah, it's done. Just
That's
like,
good enough.
yeah.
You're
So,
you're pretty safe with fish on that one, at least.
yeah.
There was one time I was still learning how to cook. I learned how to cook a lot being away from home for 2 years. That's where I got most of my skills. But I found out chicken is the one that you cannot undercook. I would rather have overcooked dry chicken than be on the toilet for 24 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that was a fun day.
Yeah. In one of the areas I was at, me and my companion, we would go to the store and all we ate was chicken. Chicken the entire time, basically.
All chicken.
Every single day, the meal that we would cook, because we all cooked together,
Yeah, nice.
was chicken. And we would go buy, for the week, we would buy 6 kilos of chicken.
Like, don't say kilos. He said
5 or
kilos.
6 kilos of chicken.
That's so much chicken.
And we would, because in this area at least, they had these frozen blocks. It was just like these like, because the area was like right next to like a chicken factory,
Oh yeah, okay.
and so they were just basically like not the offcuts, but
Yeah, but
our saw blade like sliced through the middle of this breast. We can't sell this breast because it's like
okay.
like bad, doesn't look good, right? So they just like sell these blocks of them, and so we would buy like a kilo of drumsticks,
yeah.
3 kilos of breast meat, and
That's
like
not bad.
you know whatever other.
You're like, this is still good meat. Like,
yeah,
so we don't
and
care.
we would cook 2 or 3 cups of rice
Mhm.
each day
Nice.
and have a kilo of chicken a day. So half a kilo of chicken each
with a lot of rice.
with rice, and like I would make like these sauce concoctions that like I'd find like some like
You'd
stuff
find
in the
random
store, and I'm like,
packets. Yep.
what does this packet say? And it's always Knorr, like Knorr.
Yep.
Those packets. I was like, that looks like a random vegetable I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
And I'd make that with some water, and usually I'd throw some like other sauce in there, like a hot sauce or something.
Oh, nice.
Like some peppers in it.
I did something similar in Argentina. Yeah, grab a packet off the shelf and then it'd be like oregano. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Oregano was huge.
Italian spices.
Italian spices. Okay.
Italian spice. That was like the go-to for
Nice.
all of the missionaries.
Oregano like goes on everything there, but then there was even a funny one that was like pizza spice. They had like a special name for it that doesn't translate. I don't remember what it is, but it was just like, yeah, this is the pizza spice. And it was like, it tasted pretty good on everything.
In the capital, you could buy this can, and none of us understood what it was until one missionary. We were all like looking at it, and we're like, "What does that even mean?" It was a can of tomatoes.
Okay.
Is what they said it was.
But it wasn't.
Well, so we're like none of us we're like on a pretty tight budget, right? So we're like, we can't just like spend 100 met
Just to
on
guess.
this one random can of like tomato stuff. And so until one missionary bought it,
They did, yeah.
it was salsa.
No way.
They just had cans of salsa in this one store. And so all of a sudden, all of the American missionaries are like, well, I know what I'm buying.
Now that's worth it. All right.
And so we would literally just have salsa on rice.
Just to give it flavor.
We were making ourselves like burrito bowls.
Yeah.
We'd get like ground beef and or like, we'd cube up chicken or whatever and put that on rice with some salsa.
It's pretty good.
It was
pretty
great. It was fantastic.
good. Man.
I forget what they called it. It was like they called it like Spanish tomatoes or something like that.
Spanish tomatoes. I
Or
like it.
fire roasted tomatoes. Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
called it.
Random, since we're semi on the topic, what was like the poorest meal you ever had to make? in the
Like
mission?
where I was broke.
Yeah, where like I can explain mine because I remember vividly. It was the end of the month before our allowance rolls in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were broke. Like there was no food in the apartment. I don't know how this happened. It was one of my first couple months in Argentina, so I wasn't super savvy on shopping and cooking yet. And but I kind of knew how to cook more than my companion, so I said, "All right, man, I'll go make something. I'll go look and see what we got in the cupboards." And I literally found polenta, like half a bag of polenta that had been left there for who knows how long, and like 2 cubes of chicken bouillon. I was like, well, I'll follow the instructions and make some polenta with chicken bouillon. And then I think it might have been okay, but then I added extra salt because I was like, yeah, salt makes everything taste better. Chicken bouillon has so much salt.
It's already way too salty.
It's already salt, and I, again, was not that good at cooking back then. So yeah, I made polenta, which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have rice if you got to pick some random, like, cheap carb to survive on. I'd go rice all day long. Polenta is gross. But polenta with just way too much chicken bouillon and way too much salt. So we're like having half a spoonful and then you just like downing a glass of water. It's so salty. That's what we ate and we were content.
Yeah, my cheapest meal was actually my first transfer when I was getting trained. So I'm really good at budgeting.
Okay.
And so when I got my allowance, I was like, this is how long it needs to last, so I can only spend this much per week.
Easy.
And I was really good at that. And most of the time, by the end of my mission, I had $400 US extra.
Wow.
Which is 3 transfers worth of money.
Dude, they drained our money every month. They wouldn't let us.
Oh, really?
They wouldn't let us stockpile.
No, we were.
Unless you like took it out as cash. But
no, ours was just rolled over.
Dang.
They didn't have a limit for us.
That sucks because I remember like losing money. They were like, "Oh, well, you didn't use your allowance, so." I was like,
"That's so dumb."
That's my reward is that you take it away.
I would have just taken all. Well, a lot of so in Mozambique,
I started just taking out.
There's not a lot of people that there's not a lot of like shops that take credit cards.
Yeah.
And so we would pull ours out of in cash anyway most of the time.
Sure.
Or like you would pull out like a week's worth of cash on Mondays.
Gotcha.
But the poorest one was like my first week.
Mm-hmm.
And my companion, my trainer,
already ran out of money.
Well, not a good budgeter.
Oh, geez.
Not a good budgeter. At all. At all. Horrible at it.
Yikes.
And so we like got there, and it was like I don't remember what was going on. I don't remember why, but like he was already out of money for the month
Somehow.
or something like that. Yeah, he was already out of money because I got there like the last week.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or I got there the second to last week, but then like the first transfer was on like the last week of the month or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that week we were gonna like he was out of money and I only had 1 week's worth of allowance, right? Because they just prorated it out
Yeah.
for those couple days.
Makes sense.
And like so I had like, what? At that time we were getting 8,000 met a month. So I was I had like 2,000 met or something like that, 1,800 met.
Mm-hmm.
And I had spent money on other stuff already, so I was probably at like 1,600 met or so.
Mm-hmm.
Met is meticais.
Meticais.
Yeah. Which is the metical is what Mozambique uses as their currency. We always just called it met because it's way easier to say than medical.
Right. It's like dollar bills, or you can say just bucks.
Exactly.
$8.
Exactly.
Everybody knows what you mean.
And that was purely like an American thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't be the store owner be like, all right, your total comes up to 250 met.
No, they wouldn't even say meticais. They would just say 250.
Just 250. Yeah, okay. I guess that's your only.
Like, quanto custa? Cinco.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Boom.
Costs 5.
Cool.
5 what? Everyone, obviously.
I guess because we have dollars and cents, but they just have met. So.
They have 50-cent pieces.
Oh,
which are absolutely useless.
They're worthless now. Yeah.
Well, they've never been used.
Oh, I'm assuming at some point. No? Okay, because like Argentina has
even
cents.
the 1 met pieces are like almost useless.
Yeah.
They have 1 met, 2 met, 5 met. And the 10 met coins.
Gotcha.
And the 1 met coins are never used.
They're worthless. Yeah,
You can get 2 met.
they're like pennies.
Actually, you use 1 met occasionally for like Shoppas, which is like a bus. Because like sometimes it's like 7 met or like 6 met to get somewhere.
An odd number,
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, it's like either 3 2s or 5 and a 1 or whatever. So you'd use 1s.
Yeah, we had centavos, but they were just really old. Like they didn't make the coins anymore because of just the inflation. It's like, okay, we only use pesos now.
Yeah.
Really.
So we only used met. But so anyway, my poorest meal was probably, and this is like my first week, so I'm like bright-eyed, bushy. I have no clue what's going on.
Can't even speak the language.
Right.
It's my ice maker. It makes weird noises.
Oh.
Like there's a monster in the fridge.
Yeah, it sounded like I was like, what are your fridge doing? You got someone hiding in there, Trevor? Like,
he's trying to break out of the freezer. My bad.
no, but we went to the market, and we couldn't afford anything in like the supermarket, like the store, so we had to go to like the market.
Yeah.
Like the open air market.
Yep.
And we bought like 2 or 3 tomatoes, an onion, and like 3 cups of rice.
There you go. Nice.
And
Gotta get your nutrients.
so yeah, we cooked the rice and like chopped up the tomatoes and onion and like sauteed them in a pan for 5 minutes, and then just poured it over the rice.
Poured it over the
And,
rice.
like, mixed it up, and we're like,
Yep.
that's lunch.
Good enough.
That's gonna be the rest of the food for the day.
Yeah.
But that was only like, and we did something similar to that for like the rest of the week until we got money the next day or whatever day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If they had like,
we would buy chicken. So a lot of my mission, you could like buy chicken in the store, and it was like just like you would get here, right? Like prepackaged, like the butcher or whatever, like at the supermarkets, right?
Yeah.
But if you but they were like for 2 chicken breasts, it was like 200 met or something.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
It's kind of expensive.
Yeah. So we would go instead, and we would just go buy a whole chicken for 200 met.
Yeah, easy.
But
Cut it
it's
up
a
yourself.
live chicken.
Oh.
So we killed a lot of chickens.
Yeah. You had to kill it and defeather it.
Defeather it, yeah.
Nice.
They all had those like electric kettles that you like just plug it in and like boils it in 4 seconds or whatever.
Nice.
And so we would just do that, and we had a tub in the backyard or in the front yard or whatever, in quintal, and then we just pour that on the chicken, and it blister the skin, and you just
Nice.
rip the feathers out, and then you cook it up, and
Tastes good.
it tastes real good.
Fresh chicken.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy how much different it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
And these are also not like farm chickens. They're like people that raise
Just
chickens
wild
in the market.
chickens,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they're like eating like mealworms and like they're eating like a really good diet, and it's a really yummy chicken. Takes a lot of work to get to the chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just, oh, I need to go to the store and then like throw it on the frying pan.
Buy chicken. Right.
You have to like buy the chicken, carry it back to your apartment live, kill it, defeather it.
That's pretty cool, though. That's a cool experience, though.
Yeah. So I killed chicken and then I killed a goat.
A goat. Nice.
Sliced his neck. That was a traumatizing experience.
I think you've told me that
Have
one.
I told you that story?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I'll tell it again because it's a great story. We had this member who we were talking to him and he was like, yeah, let's I just bought this goat for my family. Like, and I need help butchering it. I can't just do it by myself.
Big old family dinner.
Exactly. And so we were like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, well, we're walking, towards that area. We'll be there in 3 hours. He's like, perfect, great. And, 3 hours from then was probably going to be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, yeah, we'll help him and then we'll cook the goat up and chill there with them for dinner.
Have some good
Whatever,
for dinner,
right?
yeah.
And so, such a dumb thing. So we go there, and he's like, okay, yeah. And we had the goats tied up, and, we're like, cool, let's, like, get going on this thing. He's like, cool. And he takes his kitchen knife, runs over to the side of his house, and this guy is, like, pretty wealthy for this area.
Uh-huh.
Still a cinder block house.
Yeah.
And sharpens the knife on the side of his cinder block house.
Nice.
Which I'm like, you just turned the knife into a saw.
Yeah.
And then he goes, okay, so we like take the goat, we like lead it over to like this area away from his house and kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is like in like the most remote area that I was in. It's
Okay.
like when you think of Africa, this is Africa. Like many of the people I talked to lived in mud huts and walked out of their front door into a rice field, right?
Yeah.
So we walk over a little bit a distance away next to a tree, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get the goat prepared. And he hands me the knife, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I thought I was just holding the knife,
Just
for him
holding
while
it
he,
for him, yeah.
put the goat on its back, whatever.
yeah.
And he's like, okay, we're also gonna like save the blood, and so he put a tub underneath its neck with a bunch of rock salt in it to like preserve the blood.
Weird.
I don't know what he was gonna do.
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming blood sausage, but that stuff's gross. So.
I don't think they make sausage there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no clue what he's gonna do with it. But
He's really trying to break out of the freezer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. But so I go and I'm like, okay, cool. And my companion, he holds the front of the goat. And the member stands up and he goes, okay, go ahead, Elder Sharp.
Go ahead.
And I go, excuse me? He's like, I'm going to hold the back legs. And he goes, and is like holding the back legs like he's like scared of the. I mean, it's not a big goat. Right?
No, yeah, but he's just
And
clearly
he's
prepared.
like barely touching the hooves of the goat. Like he's like scared of this whole process, and I'm like, dude, this is your goat. What the freak am I supposed to do here? He's like, go ahead, Elder Sharp, just go ahead and cut the throat. And I'm like,
You got the
where?
knife.
He's like, just anywhere. I don't know. And I'm like, you've never done this before? He's like, no, I've never done this before.
Why
I'm
would
like,
I have done
what
this
the freak,
before?
man? And so I go over and I like hold the head of the goat over this bucket, and I'm like pulling it, and my companion's pulling the other way, right? And I just saw across this goat's neck.
Because it's not a knife anymore. You just.
Because it's not a knife anymore, which was a very strange experience.
Oh man.
Didn't love that feeling.
No, yeah. At least if it was a sharp knife, you could have just done one slit and done. But you had to.
Oh, it was like a solid 25 seconds of me like trying to cut this goat.
Yikes!
And
that
blood.
does not sound.
I'm in a white shirt,
Uh-huh.
and blood is just going everywhere.
We're gonna save the blood. Puts one little bucket underneath.
I mean, it was like a tub, like this big. Or so, right?
But it's. I mean, to actually get the blood, you gotta like
No.
wrap them up or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I have
mean,
no
it's
clue.
just.
And like there is blood going into the bucket, but there's also a lot of blood going onto me.
Jeez.
And so I'm like sitting there, and then I get done, and I'm like holding this goat's head, and I'm just like, it was like a very surreal moment. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Oh yeah.
Like, what is my life? I was just like,
Yes.
what the freak, man?
How did I get here? Holding a goat's
And
head?
then we take the goat's legs and like hang it up in the tree, and
Yeah,
like,
to let it
he
drink.
starts to skin it with the same knife,
Uh-huh.
and it's like not working at all.
No, I bet.
And so he has me and my companion, like he like cuts the legs, cuts the skin on the legs, and like cuts through the belly and like guts it. And he's like, all right, we need to skin it, and so we just rip the whole
Just
skin
rip it off, yeah.
And I was just like, what the heck, man? And so we had to go back to our apartment and like change
Yeah.
because we were both of us because he was like right there next to the head with me, right?
Mhm.
And the goat's obviously not just sitting still while getting its throat cut
Squirming and spraying.
going, screaming at us.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that was a fun experience.
That's it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
How did we get on that topic? Oh, killing chickens.
Killing chickens.
Anyway.
You killed a goat. Yeah, that's fun.
Anyway,
Anyway.
want to talk about Remnant?
Sure. Yeah, on to our next scheduled topic.
Remnant 2.
Remnant
is coming
2.
out. So, okay.
Yeah.
Remnant 1, video game about kind of an apocalyptic situation on Earth where like these aliens kind of come down and like wreak havoc, and they're like tree aliens.
Yeah, I think it was almost like they came up from the Earth, but I don't know, maybe that
Yeah,
was just
well,
my...
they're like, but then you like after you like
aliens.
finish the section of the game on Earth, you like start teleporting around to like different planets and
different dimensions, different
Yeah.
worlds.
and you fight a lot of tree people.
Yeah, because you find out the same like tree aliens have infested other dimensions,
Yep.
and they also don't like them.
Yep,
They're also
exactly.
trying to kick them out.
So that was Remnant 1. It's a third-person
Shooter action RPG.
Yeah, really good game.
Pretty fun.
You, me, and Caleb all played for.
Yeah, they had 3-player co-op, so we played that for a while. I don't know if we ever beat it together.
We didn't finish it, but we got to like the third or fourth world.
And I think there were 4. I want to say in that game.
So I think we ended on I think we stopped playing on the desert one, which I think is the third one.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like a Earth, which was kind of cool to see, like buildings and subways and stuff. And then like there was a desert planet, there was a jungle,
The jungle one was the second planet, though.
and then there was something else. Maybe just another foresty. Oh, it was a swamp. I remember it was a swampy one. So maybe you never saw that one.
I feel like I did, though.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been a while. It's been
Cool
like
game.
3 years.
Super pretty. It had like the environments were awesome to
It
look
looked
at.
real good.
And it was so like different between all the environments. So that was cool.
The gameplay was good, too.
Gameplay was stellar.
It was really... Because that was like the first third-person shooter I had ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really liked it. Like,
Yeah.
it was real good.
It had a good mix of like you could do melee or
You
ranged
could do
combat.
Yeah, and you had different stats you could boost and things like that.
All the guns, there were tons of different guns.
Yeah, there was.
a lot of. Every time you beat a boss, you got a new weapon.
Yeah.
Basically. So there's
And it was based on your class, too.
Mhm.
Because there was, like, the brawler,
the
the...
sniper,
That's what I chose, is the sniper guy.
and then I don't know,
There was another one.
scout or whatever, some random.
Well,
third
maybe
one.
I chose Scout. Because I think I
Yeah.
had an ability where I could, like... I don't remember. Anyway.
It was an RPG, so you had skills. You'd level up,
Yeah.
and you put different like mods on your weapons as well to augment things. But it was cool. It was a lot of diversity, a lot of replayability,
Yeah, I
Super
should go
fun.
back and play that game, actually.
right?
But,
But number 2 comes out
yeah.
in 2 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
I don't remember when I...
Pretty sure it's the end of July.
I don't remember. I watched the ad and it looked sick.
Yeah,
But this one had the tree people,
yeah,
but it was a lot more like futuristic as well.
it did. It did kind of.
It was like
more.
it reminded me of like the Matrix.
Oh yeah, okay.
They had like the birthing pods and stuff like that in one of the sections of the preview
Of the trailer,
the
yeah.
trailer. Ad? What is it called?
Yeah, the trailer.
Trailer? Yeah.
Yeah, because that one had gameplay. Like that was a gameplay trailer.
Yeah. I think most of it was gameplay.
Pretty sure.
It looked real good too.
Yeah,
It looks real good.
looked smooth.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it just to see. The first one was the first one was like one of the first games where I was like, I want to play this. Like like I'm like sitting in class or at work or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
I could really play some Remnant right now with my buddies.
can't wait to go home and play some.
Yeah, that was like one of the first games that I was like stoked to play.
That's cool. That's a cool feeling.
Yeah,
You don't
it
always
was
get
sick.
that. So
No, most games I've never really had that feeling.
Yeah.
There's a few where I'm like, most of the time it's just like, I got nothing else to do right now. I'll hop on some game and I'll
Yeah, I
like
guess
scroll through my Steam or Epic library and be
I'll
like,
pass the time.
this one's fun, and it's usually always the same one, and you know, previously it was Smite, and now it's War Thunder.
Oh yeah.
War Thunder is much easier than Smite.
Yes. Yeah. I bet.
But yeah, Remnant 2, it looks sick.
I feel like maybe they don't, because I think they're a relatively smaller company, so they like don't market as much. But really, I think the game should get a ton more attention.
It's way better than any Call of Duty.
Yeah, and it's a blast. I think almost anybody could pick it up. Like a Call of Duty fan, they're shooting in it. If you like RPGs, go for it.
This kind of goes back to one of our previous conversations on the podcast of open world versus like straight line story games.
Sure.
Because these Remnant is like a very much a straight line. Like
yeah,
you can move laterally through the story, but it's like there is one storyline. It's a little bit more open world than like Halo.
Yeah,
like all the Halos.
It's a bit more open on the level design.
Yeah, but there's still like to progress in the game, you have to do A to B to C to D to on and on.
To go fight the boss.
To go fight the boss. You can't just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like do something else. Like there is the one mission.
Yeah.
And like I think was there like side missions for like not side missions but like objectives where it's like, oh yeah, on this level kill this many of this type of creature with headshots or something like that. I don't think
totally.
There was.
No, I think there were some random NPCs you talk to get little side missions, side quests, but yeah, no, not really.
Yeah, but like, not really. Honestly, I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty excited for the second one.
Maybe we ought to pick up the first one and blaze through it real quick.
I'd be super down.
Yeah,
I'd be super down. We'll record it and
because the final boss was a punk, and I think you'd remember him if you fought him. So that's what I was like.
I never fought the final boss. I remember the one that me and Caleb were trying to defeat was the guy that you're on the bridge.
Yeah.
And that guy, we fought him like 5 or 6 times.
It wasn't he the big flying monster that's like flying around you as you're on the bridge, or
yeah.
Like
you're on the bridge and there's like and he's like summoning other stuff.
It's a bunch of like bees and wasps and bugs, and I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was on the swamp planet, so it was.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Yep.
Because so is the swamp planet the second planet?
I think so.
Yeah, because it goes swamp planet and then forest planet and then desert planet.
You think?
Right?
I don't remember. Because then after I beat the game, I went and they had in a later update. They had the this like survival mode. So my memory's a little warped from that because that one like you went through they did almost like a roguelike where you kind of start your run like from nothing. They give you like one random gun, but every playthrough is different, and you just play through the survival run and see how far you can go. And it's like a boss run almost too.
Yeah.
But you go through procedurally generated levels, so it can be random from any of their environments, and then you fight a random boss at the end, and then you go back to like your little hub, your little base, and maybe you got like a new upgrade, a new skill, or a new gun or something, and then you try to go further and see how far you can get before dying. So that kind of warped like my order a little bit because it was always random, but that game mode was a ton of fun because it was different every time, and as I said, they have so much variety anyway in that game. It was cool just to like, okay, they gave me this weird shotgun that shoots bees or whatever. I got to figure out how to use this gun. It's not my preferred pick. And then the next run, you're like, oh sweet, I got the Tommy gun. All right, I know what I'm doing here. Like,
yeah, that was really cool to like. I feel like going back to our previous conversations again. If more games did stuff like that, where it's like, it's like. There's one storyline, but there's infinite ways you can achieve that storyline. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna be a sniper guy this time and not have to like fight anyone. Yeah,
boost the replayability a ton.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked too much into number 2 as far as like all the different classes you can be or different guns or whatnot. But I'm assuming it'll be pretty similar and maybe even improved, of like more diversity in playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, I really kind of want to get it and see, just because number 1 was a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, we put how many hours in on it together? 12, 14?
Yeah, I'd say at least.
Just in that one, no more than that.
Just in the one campaign, maybe 20.
Might have been 20.
I think I'm confident saying I put in at least 50 in all in the
Yeah,
whole game, but the story just like totally throws you for a loop as well the first time. You think it's just like
yeah, it does.
you think it's just like, oh, this is a post-apocalyptic game and we're fighting these weird like plant aliens, and then you like at the end of you fight the boss and you accidentally like go through a portal and you're like, oh, I'm on another planet. Like what?
Well,
the environment is so stark and
but
different.
like you're in like a non-existent plane at
Yeah.
first, like the keyway, like the doorway or whatever.
Yes.
And then you can like choose all these other planets to go through,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to like not fall off the edge of these like floating blocks and things like that.
Dude, it was wild. I think just because I went into that game blind, I had no idea what it was about. I was just like, oh, it's kind of a cool, reminded me of Dark Souls. I think that's how I got recommended. It was like, oh, it's like a Dark Souls, but with guns.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that sounds like fun.
And it wasn't an easy game.
No. Dude, oh. I did single player before I had you guys hop in and join me, and then I restarted. The first like boss I fought in single player, I remember it was like, this guy is so difficult. Tried him so many times. I'm like, dude, I beat all 3 Dark Souls, and I can't even beat the first boss in this game. So then I think I finally beat him or whatever, but I had you guys play with me. We restarted and we're coming up to the first boss. I was like, all right, guys, this is what the first boss does. He's a pain in the butt, but here's like kind of my strategy. Here's what I figured out. We go in and then it's a different boss. That threw me for a loop, is that there's some of the bosses are randomized too.
Yeah.
I was like, this game is great. I wasted so much time thinking we had to beat this guy, and then they just, nope, there's a new enemy.
I remember you telling us, I was like, cool. And like we're in there, and I don't remember if it was before or after, or during or after, you're like, this is not what I thought it was. And I was like, yeah, it seemed way different than what you were
Forget everything I told you.
Well, but I remember like thinking like, this is, I might just be stupid, because this is not what he said this guy was supposed to do.
This guy's kind of easy, as you're just firing it.
Yeah, because I had like the
lever action
gun at the time. I remember my last gun was like this sick bolt action rifle that was like headshots do like 3x damage or something stupid like that, and I was just like,
you could get some cool builds in that game,
and like the guns were like way OP.
Yeah,
like they could the sniper rifles, if you had like good aim, you could shoot for forever.
Every new gun felt cool. Just like, oh, what does this one do? And you're like,
yeah,
that shoots lasers. Okay.
Yeah, no, they were all super sick.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of it you could try to stack status effects as well. So if it's like, oh, my sidearm does like poison damage, but my firearm does fire, like I can combine them to deal tons of damage.
And then you could go around and like break stuff and loot things too.
Yeah, the environment was destructible.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
That was a really good game.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of enemy diversity as well. Like all the enemy design was really cool. Like,
yeah, it was.
Even just finding, again, like somewhat randomly generated like groups of enemies, but it was every new fight was interesting.
And then there on one of the planets there was like the dog enemies that like really sucked because they were like super stealthy.
Yeah, they would sneak up on you.
Yeah, I remember one of our tactics was I would just shoot one of them, and then they would all come over and we would like funnel them through like a thing so they could sneak up around.
Get them like away from the other bad guys first.
Yeah. Because they had like their aggro range was bigger or something like that. I remember.
Or you had that sniper shot across the map, like.
Dude, but like they designed the map so well because you can't just like sniper shot across the map.
No, yeah, there's a lot of terrain.
There's a lot of terrain. Yeah, it was a really good game.
Or twists and turns.
I'm interested to see the second one because the second one looked to be more futuristic. Not futuristic because they're all futuristic, right?
Technically, yeah.
But like more sciencey instead of natural enemies.
Sure. I hope we see more, for like regardless kind of what it ends up being, hope we just see more new environments. That's kind of what I want. For sure. That game is visually stunning and I want to see more of it. Like,
and if they just like tune the gameplay, not like redo it, but if they like modernize it a little bit, tune it up a little bit, make it a little bit
add some
more
extra little perks here.
Yeah, maybe, add a couple different like status effect types, like or whatever. It's like that would be sick, but like you don't need to mess with a ton.
Yeah, like I think the game had armor too, but I don't think that was near as important as your guns. So
no,
maybe they can add in some extra equipment.
Yeah,
to
maybe different person types.
Oh yeah,
like instead of like a rogue or a sniper or whatever, you can have
fighter.
Whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it.
That'd be cool.
pumped for it. Excuse me. I'm excited to see how it plays compared to the first one. We should play through the first one again though.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go download it after this.
The first one?
Yeah.
I think I still have it downloaded. But I have way too much storage on my computer.
Let me check. You got that 3 terabyte?
5.
Oh, that's so excessive.
I have a 5 terabyte hard drive. And
I remember
500 gigabyte SSD.
I remember like 10 or 15 years ago, one of my brother's friends was over for like a LAN party. And he like just built his new computer and he had a 1 terabyte hard drive. And he had like, we joked that he had like every movie known to man on his computer, and it was only like 500 gigs or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I remember them saying back then, I don't know how old I was, but they were just like, 1 terabyte? Dude, you would never need that much space. That's retarded. Now here we are like 10, 15 years later, it's like, yeah, 1 terabyte, should probably have at least one.
Well, what's funny is that like, I got my 5 terabyte. And like originally I was like, okay, I'll get like, because I think you suggested an SSD and a hard drive.
Yeah, it's handy to have both.
And so I was looking at it and like I got the SSD first, and I was like 250 or 500.
500.
It was like, well, if I get the 500, then I don't need as big of a hard drive, and so that'll be cheaper, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And it was only like an extra 50 or 60 bucks.
I was about to say probably a $50 difference.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get the 500, and then I'll get like a smaller hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go on to Newegg the day after or whatever to get the hard drive.
Yeah.
And I was looking and I was like, okay, so I can get like a 500 gig hard drive. So that'd give me like a terabyte of storage. That's a lot. But then like 1 terabyte is only like $10 more.
Yeah. These days.
And then I was like looking at like, well, like 2 terabytes is like not that much more either. And then there's like the 5 terabyte one. And I was like, that's only like $100 more than like the 500 gigabyte one.
Why not?
Why not? So instead of spending like $100, I spent like $220 on my hard drive.
That's fair.
Or something like that.
These days we're looking at getting Lena a new computer for work for her business, and you can get a 2 terabyte solid state drive.
Whoa.
For like not that much, maybe $200, maybe.
Whoa.
So it's like that's pretty good. That's probably what I'll throw in my next computer, because then I'd only need one, I think, just a 2 terabyte solid state, and
take out your hard drive. Or just keep your hard drive in there.
Yeah, keep the hard drive around if I want, but
solid state.
Really, I could run everything off the solid state. So
yeah,
it'd be cool.
I download all of the programs that run things onto my solid state.
Onto the solid state, yeah.
And then all of my games I put on the hard drive.
Yep. Yeah, you don't really need.
Just because like most of the games I download are like almost 50 gigs nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that adds up.
Like I think Sea of Thieves is like
50, 60?
75 right now.
Oof. Every new update keeps getting bigger and bigger.
For real though, I think they add like a gig each update. And
dude, I remember World of Warcraft back in the day. Like every new expansion added like another 10, 20 gigs, and then every like 2 to 3 expansions they had to like compress it. They had to like shrink things down. But yeah, I remember trying to install like new expansions, and it was like I gotta delete space from my computer. Probably because I only had like 150 gig hard drive back then,
and everyone's like, "Oh, that'll be plenty for anything."
That's plenty, and I'm like, World of Warcraft is 80 gigs, and the new expansion's gonna be another 20.
Well, like, I remember when, this is years ago.
When a floppy disk came out.
Well,
we're not quite that old.
My dad and I went to Staples or something like that for a Black Friday sale.
Okay.
And they had 8 gigabyte flash
drives.
And my dad was like, "Oh, I need to stock up on these things. These things are normally so expensive." And they were like selling for like $10 a piece.
Whoa.
Which is ridiculous nowadays.
Yeah.
Because you can't give an 8 gigabyte hard flash drive away.
Yeah, you can't find them in stores anymore.
No.
Like, nobody wants them.
And so he bought probably 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
For like $10 or whatever.
These are valuable.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And nowadays it's like, oh yeah, like if you have like some salesperson come and give you something, it's on an 8 gigabyte or a 5 gigabyte
yeah.
flash drive. Like they don't make it. I don't think they make smaller ones anymore.
Nah, I couldn't.
I remember in school because for one of my things, for one of my like
The school project.
middle school classes, junior high classes or something
Mhm.
like that, I was like taking a flash drive in and out to like work on it at home and work on it at school or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
And my flash drive was like a 2 GB flash drive.
Whoa.
And I thought I had the most storage on the planet. I was like,
Nice.
whoa, because you look at like a Word file or like a PDF, and
Yeah,
like a Word
that's
file is like
10
oh, yeah,
megs.
max. It's like
Yeah.
13 kilobytes or whatever, or like 1 MB.
And you
It's
see
like,
you see
oh
the
my
bar.
God.
It's like
yeah,
wow.
exactly. You're like,
Out of 2
whoa,
gigabytes, I
I
have
could
so
put
much.
so much on this. And I would like I had downloaded like these like short segments of like funny shows,
Oh, nice.
and I put them on the flash drive, and I'd like show them to like my buddies and stuff like that.
That's
at
funny,
school.
that's
Be
cool,
like,
yeah.
look at this. I have like this like clip downloaded.
See, that's funny because I saw that. I had a couple different flash drives because my dad was in computers for his
Yeah.
business, so he'd like, hey, I went to a conference and he just throw me an extra one. I'm like, sweet, an extra 1 gig flash drive.
I know.
I loaded them up with games,
Nice.
and then I'd pass them to other people's flash drives. And then this junior high and high school, we would play Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Counter Strike 1.6, the OG. Pass that around to flash because that game is tiny. I think my first flash drive was like a half a gig.
Yeah.
And it fit on
500
that easy.
megabytes.
And that was a blast trying to like playing that on the school computers.
Oh, you played it at school.
At school, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I think the last one I remember.
Could you run it off of the flash drive?
Yeah, you can run it off the flash drive.
No way.
So like it's around any of the firewalls and stuff.
That's hilarious.
The last one I remember was I guess not the last one. I got 2 little mini stories in 9th grade in my AutoCAD class. So it's like we're in a computer lab. We got I got Halo on a flash drive, the first Halo 1, which is also tiny, also fit on a flash drive, and we passed that around to everybody in the class. And we tried to we were like, all right guys, this Friday we're gonna play Halo. We're gonna get everybody in on it. But everybody who wanted to play, we had to sit on the computers that the teacher couldn't see, sat on the other side. So we had to like swap seats around and whatnot to make that work. And we had, I think, probably 8 of us playing Halo. Just on the first map, Blood Gulch, 4v4. We're just like hopping in Warthogs.
oh, you were playing versus. You weren't doing like the
versus,
campaign.
yeah. Because we were all on the same network in the computer lab.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You didn't even need an internet.
No, yeah,
connection.
we're all
You
just hopping in. It was a blast. So we're doing that. We're all like trying to play quietly. You know, you clickety clack on the keyboard, and we're clicking way too fast for AutoCAD programs. But
yeah.
anyway,
I had to use escape all the time.
there's one guy who's just like watching. He's not playing. He's an idiot. But we're there playing, and he yells. I don't think it was to me, but to somebody else. He goes, "Dude, get in the Warthog." And my teacher immediately just turns and says, "Guys, stop playing Halo." Like he knew immediately too. Like, oh man, that's hilarious. We're like, all right, sorry, sorry, Mr. Roberts or whatever his name was. Like,
Oh, he was also the woodshop teacher.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that guy.
he had the goatee. And
Yeah.
yeah, he was cool.
He was one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, well, I think he plays Halo, or at least knew what Halo was, because from dude
Did you know,
getting the Warthog.
Did you know? Okay. Did you know that he is like independently wealthy
No, I didn't know that. Why does he teach it out of high school?
for fun?
Just because he likes?
He teaches woodshop for fun.
Huh.
Because
Cool,
that's
I
his
guess.
hobby.
Yeah,
His-
and you get access to the tools and stuff.
You know, so Mountain View had a CNC router
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the woodshop class, right?
Mhm.
For the woodshop shop. He has one at his private residence that is double the size.
Wow.
You want to know what he did? He programmed for Intel.
No way. I had no idea.
He was one of Intel's lead programmers in. I don't remember if he was in
Probably
Arizona or in
90s.
somewhere else. I think he moved to Arizona. Yeah,
That's super
and
cool.
like woodworking is just his hobby.
Neat. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, so he's just like independently wealthy and just does it for fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's fantastic.
That is, yeah. The other random story of games on flash drives in school. I had a Warcraft 3 on a flash drive,
Nice.
which again, another small game from my childhood, fit on a flash drive. But I had a buddy of mine. I think this was actually senior year, so I lied. I was playing games in high school all the way up until senior year and into college. Always just playing games during
Not into
class.
college, through college.
Through college. That's what got me through college.
Minecraft.
At that point, I didn't need flash drives. I had a laptop. But we had a sub one day, and it was English. We were supposed to be like typing our papers or whatever. And so you probably remember this. This was big. I think by our junior or senior year of high school, they brought in laptops for the whole class to use.
Oh yeah, every once in a while they would do
It
that.
was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their own laptop to work on during class. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So so I bring, they I don't think they were connected to the internet. So I brought an Ethernet cord from home. He sits behind me in class, and we have a sub. We're supposed to just be like typing quietly for an hour. It's boring. So he sits behind me. I have the Ethernet cable plugged into my laptop and the other end plugged into his behind me. And we both like bring our portable mouses. We're playing Warcraft 1v1 against each other.
You and the sub?
No, me and this buddy behind me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the sub is there.
Oh, gotcha.
She's not watching. She
Yeah,
doesn't care.
Hilarious.
So just, I got this.
Who was it?
Just John something. The kid?
Yeah.
I don't remember his last name. It's probably bad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was
And
sweet.
the subject didn't even...
I don't think she noticed. I mean, we had this big bright yellow Ethernet cord between our two laptops, but... And again, we're clicking
But
way
still-
too fast for
Yeah.
typing a paper.
And you're just 1v1ing?
Yeah, just playing Warcraft 3. And we might have had like one or two guys behind us like watching, but thankfully nobody shouted out anything dumb that time. Like
Well, I remember our senior year, we had AP U.S. government
yeah.
together.
Uh-huh.
And after the AP test, it was like the econ section. But
Yeah.
like no one cared.
It's like 2 to 3 weeks of like, all right, we're gonna speed run.
And so I remember, like, our teacher would like give us stuff to do, and you and I would like sat next to each other, like,
Yeah.
reasonably close to each
I
other.
think she let us pick our seats in that class, which was
Yeah,
rad.
because you, me, and
Colin.
No,
Yeah, Colin was in that class.
no, Colin was not in that class.
Maybe for the first semester, I think.
Colin Bowers?
Yeah, I thought he was.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
Because we sat next to what's his name? Decker. Not Decker.
Brecken Denler.
Brecken Denler.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a whiz at the government.
Yeah. It was funny because me, you, and him always were like shouting the guns,
Yeah.
Anyway.
The libertarian voices in the
Yeah,
back.
over all those libertarian voices like, how about we just leave everyone the freak alone?
So what do you guys think about this economic principle here?
How about we all F off?
Ever heard of laissez-faire?
But I remember you and me, we would play 1v1s on Hearthstone.
Oh,
We would play Hearthstone together in class.
I did not remember
Because
that.
you had your phone and I had my iPad mini.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had we had our binders, and I would put like all of my papers on that side of the binder because the teacher
goodness.
sat there and put the freaking
No way. So you're just like, the papers are covering
the papers
it.
are 2 inches high with all of my folders or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then I had my iPad right there,
have to
and
tap and-
I'd be playing. I'd have my pen in one hand, and I'm right-handed, so I'd have my pen in one hand, and then I'd just like point, like tap with my finger with my pencil or pen in
Wow.
my hand, and then you did something similar where you just had your phone like out, and we were just supposed to be doing like a worksheet.
It's just busy
Right?
work,
It was
yeah.
just dumb, stupid stuff.
I cannot believe that. That's hilarious. I don't even remember.
And then one time,
We got away with that.
yeah, we did that like not just once. It was like
Not just once.
I think it was like a daily thing after we did it the first time. Because I think
Wow.
the first time it was like, oh yeah, like we're done today. Like it was like the day after the AP test or something, and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna take like a break or whatever until, we start the anyway.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we were playing Hearthstone,
Hearthstone.
and then we just kept playing until like the end of the semester
Yeah. at
because
that
we
point.
didn't have a final exam in that course.
No.
Because it was just the econ.
Yeah, so all we had to do
Bull
was
crap.
turn in busy work, and
Yeah.
then you're done. That's hilarious.
The teacher, she was a really good teacher, actually.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was really good.
We did actually pay attention for the rest of the class.
I actually really enjoyed that. Was probably one of my favorite high school classes.
It was AP Government, yeah.
That's one of the only classes I got a good grade in high school too. But what was I gonna say? Oh, she pulled me aside one time
Mhm.
because I had drawn on one of like the papers. It was like a take-home assignment or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had doodled on it, and I doodled
Oh.
a knife on the side of the paper.
Oh, that's funny.
And so she like pulls me aside after class one day just for 5 seconds. She goes like, I don't care what you draw, but just don't draw it on assignments.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, sorry about that. She's like, you just like, what do you just can't draw a knife on your school assignment. I was like, yeah, I guess.
Bringing a knife to school
Definitely.
that you know about.
I definitely never, ever,
No.
ever brought a pocket knife to school. Why would I ever?
That's a gun-free zone. You're not allowed to have weapons
No
there.
weapons on school besides the freaking cannon that Caleb and I built in the auto or in our welding class.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
with permission from the welding teacher. Have I told you how this happened?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I remember this one.
We go in and Caleb and I are in advanced welding together. This is the second year, or maybe not advanced, but the second year of welding.
Of welding, yeah.
And so basically the year is basically like, okay, well, make a project.
Yeah.
All right, because the first year of welding is like, okay, you learn how to MIG and stick weld, and then you have to like do all these like tests and like, oh, you have to like have all of the pieces of metal at different ways and weld them at, going up or down or flat or
different strategies,
upside down or whatever, right? Different techniques and things like that.
And
you do that with
do a handstand.
stick and MIG. And the second year is basically like, yeah, if you didn't finish that stuff in the first year, you have to do that, and then after that, it's like basically like make something cool.
Design your own project.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then the third year is like you learn how to like do like real thick and real technical welding.
Oh, okay.
And like TIG welding and things like that, where you can and brazing and things like that.
Neat.
So Caleb and I are like, well, like, let's just build a cannon.
Sounds fun.
And our teacher was like, you guys can't build a cannon at school. And we're like, what if it's not a cannon? He's like, what?
It's a ballistic propulsion device.
And go, well, what is the definition of a cannon? And so we looked up the legal definition of a cannon.
Oh my goodness.
And there has to be a propellant for it to technically be considered a cannon.
That makes
sense.
sense.
We say, well, let's just make an air cannon then. And so we went out and bought from Caleb's brother-in-law, who is does industrial construction, a big old 4-inch ball valve.
Nice.
And then connected that and basically just made this massive pressure chamber. And we got the thing rated up to 700 psi.
Whoa.
The steel could have held more, but it was the sealant that we put around on
on the valves itself.
On the valve itself that was not. Yeah. And so that thing would launch golf balls.
Jeez.
Like quarter-mile easy. Just
that's hilarious.
And eggs. It launched eggs really well as well.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Golf balls were scary though, because we once it was done, we took it home on the last day of school.
Had to test it.
We tested it. And at first we tried pumping it up with a bike pump. That did not work. So we got my dad's air compressor out and we're pumping that thing up. It took like 10 minutes in between shots to get like to even get like the pressure valve that we put on it to like read 10.
Wow.
We just had a huge volume of air in there, right? And our first test, we designed it for golf balls, right? Mm-hmm. And so the barrel, we had a rag that we would stuff in there with the golf ball, so that you have the wad and the golf ball is the projectile. And,
powder patch ball.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It was just an air-powered musket.
Yeah, that's it.
Air-powered cannon. And we would, we even we had a handle on top of it to carry it because it was two sections. There was the carriage and then the cannon itself. And we welted a carriage, a handle on top of the cannon because it was so heavy. And so on that, we actually cut in on the milling machine. We did like a sight.
Oh, okay.
Like a very rudimentary optic, not optic. Just like sight post,
something.
Right?
Yeah. Something to measure.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh, this will work well enough, right? And so we leveled it, and we had adjustments where we could clamp it to certain heights and things like that, and we didn't just have hold it.
Yeah.
But then you just opened the ball valve and it just launched stuff out. But we had it flat and aimed it at the back wall of my parents' backyard. We forgot that golf balls bounce really well.
Yeah.
There was enough energy in that thing that it bounced right back at us
No way.
and came. And so you've been in my parents' backyard.
Mm-hmm.
You know the corner of the backyard is right on 32nd and Hermosa
Yeah,
Vista.
yeah.
There's like that cinder block wall on Hermosa Vista.
Uh-huh.
We were on the opposite side next to the pool.
Gotcha.
And it came back, and we shot at the wall. It goes boom, shoom, right back and right next to us.
Jeez.
And we're like, holy frick.
Hit the deck.
Not enough time.
Not enough time, yeah.
It was so fast. It went boom, shoom, and we couldn't even think. It was
Jeez.
so scary, but so cool. And then we started lobbing eggs out of that thing because for whatever reason they didn't break when they got hit with
They got the air
much
pressure wasn't enough. Yeah.
And so we obviously started shooting them at the wall. And this is when eggs were cheap.
Right. Not
Not
today.
today, where a dozen eggs is $17.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, we eventually we just started lobbing them into the street,
That's awesome.
like a quarter mile away. Like we would get them to, like
to
almost
the
church
junior
building.
high. Oh yeah, past the junior high.
Yeah,
That's funny. That
Yeah.
sounds like good fashion, mischievous teenager fun.
yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
alrighty, should we end this episode?
All right, yeah, let's go. Thanks for watching this week's episode of the 5G podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.
We're available on all social medias, as well as you can watch or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Again, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next week.
Thanks.